No.
Comes that way. Aha.
On the road.
Welcome, Dawe and Meredith.
Hello.
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 Oh,
Hi, Patricio.
Hello, Meredith. Hello, Dawe.
And hello, Jacqueline. Welcome.
Hello, Darwin. Thank you. And hello, Meredith.
Hi.
Hello, Maria. Welcome.
Maria, hello.
Hello.
You changed your mind, Maria.
I changed my mind again. Hello, everyone.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Perfect. How about we start with a quick check-in? Just where are you? What do you want to share to weave us together as a group here today, right now? I'm in Calgary. I'm staying in this most beautiful place with Liz, who some of you may have met, Liz Deerholt. And I'm being fed this delicious food, and I'm staying in this beautiful little cabin, and it's so nourishing for all my bodies. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm back from a couple of weeks of trainings in Mexico, and today is my gremlins feeding day. So I make it happen when there is on Fridays. So is the cafe day when I'm in a training. So I just will tell you that one of the foods of my gremlin is to stay in bed until whenever. So I'm very happy about, and my gremlin is very happy that, that I had a long night sleep. Yeah, and I'm glad to be here and to check in with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patricio.
Well, thank you.
I continue. I had a very wonderful, busy day with starting my art project today with the organization and meeting people. And so I've literally since 8:30 one Zoom call after the other and have a heart match after this. So not even time to eat in between, but kind of making me alive to have, I was holding space for an EHP right before, and that was great and important. So I cut my break a little bit off, but with so much pleasure and joy of what's happening and what is possible, and that new people also join in possibility management. So I'm flying today. I'm really happy.
Where are you, Dorothea?
Right now I'm in Sao Paulo.
Oh, in Sao Paulo. Okay.
Yeah. So still from the ETBN lab, what has been close to Sao Paulo in João, and fly on Wednesday. I fly to Germany to make my art project. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. You can't see it. Maybe you can, but I have like 50 mosquito bites on my face, and
Oh
I
my
have
God.
so many mosquito bites on the back of my legs that I cannot bend my knee backwards fully. or my leg is so swollen from mosquito bites. And
Wow.
we were just in Yellowstone National Park, and now we're in a small town called Cody, Wyoming. And we're going to go to a rodeo tonight, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, the mosquito bites are from Yellowstone National Park. We were hiking and we saw my whole body leaving the park. It really felt like I was leaving a training space and going back to, modern culture, and there was just this sadness in this. We saw a mother bear and two cubs wrestling, two baby bears wrestling. And
Wow.
yeah, it was this nature documentary moment. And I have a video
But
of
it
that.
was worse the 50 mosquito bites.
Yeah, so I was like taking a video of these bears wrestling, and I was just defenseless against the mosquitoes. And I just it was one of those sacrifices I had to make. But I'm alive. What I want to share is I'm really alive, and and full of nature, and in a place with totally different boxes from me, and and feeling alive, really feeling a lot of love for the people here.
Thank you, Loie.
Thank you, Dawi.
Thank you, Dawi.
Thank you, Dawi.
I'll add on to the nature. We had planned a 5-day backpacking trip, and because we were getting attacked by mosquitoes so badly, we experimented with letting go of the plans and leaving. So we only stayed one night, and going through this process of planning and what do I really want, I was having an opportunity to feel into, well, I can just let, Dawi's a great planner. I can just follow along, or I can actually try to check in with what I want to do. And by the last day, I was like, oh, I'm having more clarity about what I really want to be doing next, and feeling into that. And yeah, feeling the pain of still not knowing all the time what I want. And I had a lot of practice with experiencing that, and a ton of joy. It was like we couldn't make a wrong choice for whatever we were doing. So it was easy in that way. Being in this place that is so different from any other place, I was just talking with a couple this morning, and I'm like, yeah, I'm from San Francisco, and getting these crazy faces and getting these looks with my hair. It's like, wow, it's a different world. Yeah, and so feeling on edge and out of place a little bit now.
Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you.
I feel fear to speak because I am with a lot of emotional and feelings are very alive in me right now. And I want to, I am with this thing that Sonia spoke a few days ago about how abuse is when what I am showing and what I am, the gap between that is the abuse that I'm doing to myself. And I want to practice not abusing myself and showing up completely. And at the same time, there is a choice of what I want to bring into the space consciously and what I don't want to bring. So I am in Israel in a parrot house, and I'm glad because I took the decision to come. It was unreasonable, and I'm here because I wanted to meet a man that I love, and I'm feeling sad because I love him. And I'm glad that I have chosen to be here now with you and to connect.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel a lot of joy to be here. I feel a little bit of fear. Mostly joy though, just to be here and be connecting with mostly new humans that I've not met before, and just to see all of your faces. My heart feels very full. I had a bit of fear. I just came back to my parents' house for a few weeks after having been away for about 7 months, and I felt some fear coming back here yesterday. And I too am feeling very nourished. I'm feeling just a lot of joy to be here, and I had a really amazing experience this morning. I got stung by a bee, and it really it really hurt, and uh, and it taught me some things about stories that I create. Like all these stories, I immediately started creating about why it happened and what it could mean and all these things. And then I proceeded to do my meditation, and I just got so many learnings about how I make up what's right and what's wrong or good or bad. And it's really just like what I choose to believe. And it was really beautiful. So
Mm,
that's
mm.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And will you, I know you posted in the Telegram group about your interest or what's going on for you with this bridge house. Would you share also here whatever's right to share?
Yes, and thank you for the invitation, Dawei. And hello, my name is Jacqueline. Just to reintroduce myself. And yeah, I have been on making a lot of life changes, like big life changes, for almost a year now. Stepping out of my New York life and partnership and work in tech and all of these things. I kind of undid that all pretty quickly in the course of a couple months at the end of last year. And I've really just been opening up my path, it feels like. And it's led me to, yeah, some work with plant medicine. And then I think it was at the end of April, I met Tamara, and she introduced me to PM. And I have entered that world and have since not gotten out of it. Been participating in a lot of training in ETB and 2 labs. I was just in Mexico with Patricio, and I'm also with Patricio in Gremlin Transformation, Chapter 0. And I just have been really loving it very, very intensely. And yeah, I went to Inlakesh. I don't know if everyone here, I know Patricia, you know Inlakesh, I don't know if everyone else does. Okay, so yeah, so I went there for about a week just to explore community. It's just something that's been coming up. I can really relate Meredith to things about honoring my needs and wants and desires in a context bigger than myself. And that feels like the ultimate challenge for me. And I felt it already being in community of like, how do I stand up for what I want, what I need, what I care about, and also navigate that in a bigger context, whether it's living with my parents or in a lab or in a community and or in an intimate partnership, whatever it might be. And this just feels really important for me to do this work for my development, and then also to, yeah, I imagine there will be greater impacts beyond me by doing this. So I received the invitation from Vera, who I actually didn't speak with her about the bridge house, but she planted a seed, I guess, and working some magic, and here I am now. So, yeah. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But Jacqueline, you still have not said or have not talked about what your interest in the bridge house is, or what is your exploration now in relationship to the bridge house?
This is a great question. I feel fear because I feel like I don't know what to say right now, and how to answer the question. I am still, yeah, just catching up, and learning if there's, I guess right now my experiment is just how to navigate my wants and needs and desires in the context of a community. I also saw that there was something about a relationship to modern culture, like what is my relationship to plastic, for example, that was intriguing to me. And I don't feel more prepared to answer your question than that right now. And I'd like to request if there's somewhere you can direct me to either a prompt or a page or an article or something to meditate on it more. I would really appreciate that.
Mm.
So I have a prompt right now, which is to just stay with the feelings in your body, and why are you here? You know, I messaged you, or Vera planted a seed, and yeah, why are you here? What purpose would you have for joining a bridge house? What, and maybe there's a lot of layers to go through here.
Mm.
But yeah, why are you here on this call?
Mm. 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 Yeah, there's something that is coming to me now, which is there's something, yeah, about my individualism coming up. Yeah, how I have operated in a very like individualistic way for a long time, and only having to kind of worry or think about myself mostly. And yeah, how to somehow practice like being much more conscious of like every step that I take, and seeing how it impacts me and others in a way that doesn't, yeah, somehow stop me from living my life. Again, I have this, yeah, strange dichotomy about my own desires, and have always been a people pleaser. And so I feel like I'm sort of at one side of the pendulum right now of like, I really need to know how to do what I need to do for me without the weight of constantly being concerned with what everyone else needs. And then at the same time, how do I move beyond that and feel ease of just, okay, I have an impulse and I want to go follow it. And then from there, how do I care for others, like do something bigger than myself? And I don't know what the thing is. I have a lot of ideas about how I could care for people and how I could care for the environment. And to also maybe clarify that or get more specific about in which ways I want to do that. I feel like maybe I'm still being vague. I have fear that I'm not doing it right or specific enough or something. I don't know if you can hear the background noise. I might have to move in a moment. Okay, great.
No.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was clear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, just to know who's holding space for this call.
Me. And all of us. Is there something you want?
Yes, I want a space holder that can take responsibility for what's happening in this space.
If they did, what would happen now?
That somebody says, I'm the space holder, and moves their intuition. So it's not a space where things are going to happen in a not responsible way. And then there can be counter proposals, but that somebody holds a space and sense into what is the need of the space, and then propose the next step, and then the next step, and the next question.
I feel anger because I have the story suddenly that you're making assumptions about me and where I'm at, and what responsibility looks like. Can I check that out with you? Were you
Can I
believing?
pause this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, your audio cut out when you said me. I believe you were saying me, I'm the space holder. And so my story is that Patricio did not hear that you said you were the space holder.
Ah,
Mm,
Is this
Did you say I am the space holder?
yes.
Okay. No, I didn't hear that.
yeah, your Nicole's audio cut out for like the 1 second where she was saying I'm the space holder.
Because what
And
I heard from you, Nicole, is we all are. That's what I heard.
Yes. I also said I am the space holder for this call, and so are we all.
Okay. So, okay.
So let's start over there.
Okay.
Is there something anybody wants in particular right now about this space, and maybe some necessity that you picked up on that you want to share about?
I'm going to quickly write on Telegram. I want to check if Devin and Ingrid are coming,
Thank you.
but I'll be back in 1 second.
Devin's typing right now.
And also, while we're in a logistics space, it seems at the moment, I just want to check that I do need to leave at noon, or what time is it right now? My clocks are all messed up in Mexico. At 2 p.m. EST after
Will
1
you
hour
say how
of the
long
call.
it is from now? After 1 hour from our start?
Yeah, in 37 minutes from now, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And me in 25 minutes. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we're waiting for Dawei to hear from Devin and report to us. Is there a necessity that anyone has that you're either bringing or that you're noticing?
Yes, I would like to get a brief report of where are you guys at, in terms of your meetings and what has happened, and what is in where are you, what are you sensing that is the next step for this group and for this team, and if you have any things that are lingering from other meetings, that you have decided that you were going to that are not that are up in the air and need to be put on the table here.
Thank you. How about we go ahead with that for now? Unless someone else has a necessity they want to put in the space to be on the bench.
I would put one thing which might be related to what Patricio said or not, which is just as a newcomer here. I know you've asked what are my interests in the Bridge House, and I have read through a bunch of parts of the website, and it is a lot about possibility management and contextualizing it in this Bridge House. And if there are any other themes, contexts, goals, priorities for the Bridge House in general as a group, like what you'd like to be seeing happen there, I would love to know as well.
I want to answer that right now. What I've been discovering on these calls and what's been emerging week after week has been this thing of being a team together and being alive in a team. And a lot of what we've been doing has been, yeah, getting to examine how we hold ourselves so separately. And one new purpose that I didn't realize at the start of this project was that I want to learn how to hold space with everyone else where we're really in aliveness. So how does a team really stay in aliveness and support and empower each other?
Yeah, and something I want
Go
to
ahead.
add is that a distinction that's really becoming more clear for me about the context is that the context is radical responsibility, and we're using possibility management, distinctions, tools, maps, processes to build that context and to be the context. And the possibility management is the game world. So, and it might seem like a nuance of how to use language, but this has become something that has really empowered me to be clear about the context, is to not call possibility management a context, to call it a game world, and that we each play in that game world and use the tools from the game world to create the context of radical responsibility, and discovering how to do that as a team of individuals, which is so, it's my edge to and right now I want to ask you, as my team, one of the experiments I'm doing right now is to ask my team when you see me getting small, because what I've discovered is that I go small and I notice later. And so I'm asking for your help, just checking in with me, saying, hey, Nicole, are you going small right now? Will you do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Yeah, anything more in response to what Patricio's asking, to be kind of taken up to date in a way?
Yeah, I don't know if there's something to do about it in the space, but I want to put my own fears on the table, which is fears because I want, yeah, I want this alive team. I want the people who have been on this call to be at the bridge house. And I've had this whole fear while we've been traveling, taking this car there, that it's about 2 months. Actually, tomorrow would be 2 months before the start of the bridge house. And so I just have a fear that people are not finding their commitment to the project, or and I'm committed to being there, and I'm committed to being there with Meredith and Nicole, and yeah, exploring the things that I've said, and learning how to build a radically responsible community, and I want others there. So this has been a big fear building in me.
What is the fear that way again?
The fears that others won't come. Yeah.
You feel scared others won't come because?
I feel scared others won't come because, yeah, because I want to be with people, and yeah, and I think it's an emotion too about not being valuable, about the project being a failure. Yeah, and I feel I feel anger about it too. I feel anger about it because it's such an incredible opportunity. It's such a bridge house is so extraordinary of a way to spend to 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 use your time, to use my time. And I feel angry that our purposes that people have said about team and about being together, about radical responsibility, I just don't, part of me just does not get it, how there are not 50 bridge houses.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you mind need to plug in my computer? I'll just focus on that for a minute.
It's just and to me this is central. What you're talking about is central the way to a bridge house, to or to whatever project you put in your workbench. And what is central about it is, on one hand, a project needs people. I mean, needs a team, especially if it's a big project like a bridge house. And on the other hand, what do you do to get the people? You know, what are you willing to unconsciously sacrifice? You know, how much are you personally that way sacrificing your clarity about what is the context that you are calling the people to, or yeah, the level of responsibility that because yeah, you can say this, you can say, okay, the context of this project is radical responsibility, but the way it shows is in every invitation, in every interaction with other people. So to me, saying the context is radical responsibility is still something that has to land in every moment, and in relationship to the project and to the people that come closer to the project, or the people that you connect with through the project. So yeah, the question is how much you are sacrificing of your own clarity, even of getting your own clarity in for um, for there to be people in the project.
Can you ask that another way? I'm not getting it.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
I know it's a question for Dawei, but
and I will. I just want to check if Dawei is getting it, and then I'll try.
What I heard was an invitation to really speak my clarity about the context. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and not only to speak the clarity that you have, but how much are you willing to find out this clarity about what it is that you are inviting people to?
Yeah. What I'm inviting people to is a 3-month training space. It's a transformational space where I want a team of people that are really alive and really in deep relationship with what is going on for each other person, and yeah, I want a space where it's really an experimentation space, a space where I said this thing on our last call of what I want is for people to really be able to share what does and doesn't work for them, and to really find their X on the map. And yeah, I want a space of people that are really so committed to each other's growth that they do the really dangerous thing, that they give the really dangerous feedback. And in my mind, people are always asking me, okay, so okay, so after this 3-month project, what is next? And my answer's always been, I really cannot know. I really cannot know, because what I want the context to be is a space that is so transformational that I really could not connect any dot back to my life. Yeah, I want to go really liquid in these big things. Like I said on maybe 2 calls ago about what I want is this big healing space. How people can be on my team is to create space of healing, for me to not always have to be doing something. And it's these so huge box things that like an individual EHP, I'd never see any movement on it. But I want a space where this 3-month transformational team, that these big things, that these huge things can really be moved.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you. And I'm saying, what I'm saying is that the transformation comes first and the team comes later. Maybe. And this is what I want you to check, and everybody checks out. You know, how every single interaction from now until the bridge house starts is about transformation, and the byproduct is creating a team. I mean, the byproduct is that the team will come. And the difference between I want a team so then I can do this, or I'm doing this already. And when people see what I'm doing, it's not that I'm calling people to join my team, is that I'm already interacting as if they were part of my team, and then they can leave or they can choose this. So when Nicole, you said we all are holding space, you know, I feel fear. You know, I'm holding space, and then we all are holding space.
Perfect.
Because it's kind.
So
Yeah,
use your fear
yeah, I'm
to
using
hold the
it.
space. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
And I'm saying what the fear is, and the fear is that you might be waiting for each other for the next step, for the next dangerous proposal, for the next really step in the path towards, not towards creating a team. Because to me, the team is a byproduct of each interaction that you guys have together.
Yeah. And this is something that is, I think, on the edge of this team so far as research is when is there a real impulse in me to say something, and when am I holding the space and there's not an impulse, and there's some time going by, and to not make that a problem, and to also not jump into the space to make something happen because I'm scared of the silence. So this is part of what I'm experimenting with as being a space holder with other space holders, also owning that we all of us are in transformational process, discovering how it goes, and sometimes what is waiting for someone else is actually waiting for me too. Like I'm waiting for myself also. When and I sometimes have the question, like when somebody said that I was consuming a space or that I wasn't holding the space, was that actually what was happening, or was I authentically, and how to hold space for that. So how to hold space when there's silence and my sense is someone else has the next line in the script, and how to hold space to empower them rather than to start parenting them, which is what my gremlin wants to do. So this is alive for me about that.
Yeah. So I mean, I keep responding to this to that way's fear of where is the people going to come from? You know, where is the people that are going to come to the team? Where are they? And how can I scan so I can connect to these people? And you already have a job on your bench, which is how you build a bridge to the people that are waiting for this exact bridge house, and how to make it, you know, that the bridge house is so clear, you know, that when you open a conversation with anybody, you know, you can open the door to what is already happening as a bridge house. You become already a bridge house, and you are opening a conversation to a real invitation to what is already happening.
I want to jump in because I have just 3 minutes left, and it's
Go.
yeah, add on to what you said about your fear that people maybe won't come, and I have the fear. I mean, I hear that you want the commitment of 3 months, and you know already that I can't make this commitment of 3 months, that I only can make the commitment of 6 weeks. And this commitment I can do for sure. And I feel fear because I have no clarity about who is making that decision. Who is saying, yes, we receive you for this 6 weeks, and it's okay that you're there only this 6 weeks. And I find myself in kind of waiting to someone saying yes to me, and not knowing who will that be. Is that the people who are fully committed to the 3 months and making one no yes decision one day? Or is it that way, Meredith, Patricio, because you are the initiators? And when will I get
That's a very
the
good
response
question.
from you?
Yes, it's an excellent question. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. And so this I want to bring up in the space and just let you all know I'm just waiting for this yes, and then I will be there on November 1st until December 15th, for sure, and fully committed.
Thank you, Dorothea. It was actually, it was not fully clear to me where you were at. And what I was waiting for was for you to apply on the website, to just click the
I applied already. Didn't you receive it?
Okay, so I didn't check
Because this is very important. I mean, besides the question, this is a central. How do you make decisions in the bridge house? This is really a central issue. You know, how do you make a decision? You are going to have to make big decisions all the time, big, small, medium. So how do you do that? And it's excellent that Dorothea brings this up, because so how do you do that? It's going to be an application in a website.
I want to let you know, Dorothea, what I've been waiting for is for you to make a proposal. Say, I propose that I come from this date to this date. Is there any resistance? In a call, yeah. And yes, there's the kind of the form that Dawei has made so that there's collecting relevant information. And yet it's still, I don't think that would cover it, because there would still be the team to get the wisdom of any resistance from.
So now she's asking the question. Dorothea is asking the question. She's very clear that she's committed.
No, she didn't ask the question. She said this is what she's committed to.
So, okay.
Yeah.
To me, that's the question.
Yeah, we already had this resistance check-in in my first, in the call where I've been the first time. And I made the application, and I wrote in the chat my availability. And so I asked, is there any resistance receiving me from November until December. Yeah, just for these 6 weeks, but fully committed. Is there any resistance that I'm joining for 6 weeks?
Thank you, Dorothea. So she's made the question. She's made it in, she's saying that she made it in very different ways. So my question is, why this wasn't received? Why wasn't this received?
I didn't receive it. I didn't receive the question until
Why
now.
didn't you? Why didn't you?
Because there wasn't this clarity of, this is my proposal. Is there resistance? She was just
But I did it now, right? I
yeah,
did
there
it
is
now.
now. There
It
is
seems
now.
that it is very clear, and it was clear. So
To me, it
why-
wasn't.
Okay,
Hold
I'm
on.
asking you directly. Hold on a second, that way. I'm asking you directly. Why didn't you get the clarity that this was Dorothea? This was what Dorothea was asking.
Why? Because it didn't reach me. It didn't reach me.
Okay.
And if you
Nicole,
have something
Nicole,
about that, about
Nicole, what is going on for you right now?
I feel angry because Patricio's asking me why I didn't have clarity when I already said this question didn't reach me. So he's repeating the question that I already answered. And so I'm angry, and I'm using my anger to try to give him the clarity that I already thought I delivered. So this is really an amazing example of how clarity takes the deliverer of the clarity and the receiver of the clarity. That already is a kind of teamwork that there is to somehow build.
Okay, so I have the assumption that this kind of a request is not received because you might be waiting for each other, or you might be waiting for a kind of way that this has to be done. And in the context of radical responsibility, I will take this question immediately and I will respond. I will respond immediately, a yes or a no. And when it comes to responsibility, there is no we. In Taurus technology, there is always somebody that is going to respond. And you go with what you have, and then you get a do-over. If there is an issue, if there is a problem, you get a do-over. But somebody responds. Somebody responds. If Dorothea has this request, somebody says yes, and then or no, and this is the reason. If not, and this is my sense, if not, you are waiting for each other, and then you don't create the context in which people can fall into. You create kind of a no land space, nobody's space, no land, like a vacuum space that nobody can connect to. So if Dorothea didn't get the response, that means there is something that you are waiting for, that somebody's waiting for, that you are waiting for some kind of consensus or some kind of of the right way to be asked this question. And that will not work.
Patricio, can you say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me interrupt for 1 second. I really need to go because I hold space for 2-hour transformational space.
Go, Dorothea.
It's completely shitty moment to leave, and I would love to stay, but I have this responsibility, and I watch the recording, and you can reach me anytime in Telegram and continue this conversation. Thank you, everyone, and I hope we come together.
Thank you, Dorothea.
Thank you, Dorothea.
Bye.
Patricia, I'm left with a question, which is, can you say something about what I'm waiting for when the thing that didn't land hasn't landed? So I don't notice that I'm waiting for something.
Yeah, yes. And this is exactly the feedback, Nicole. You didn't notice it. So the question is, how come you didn't notice it? Of course, the feedback is about always is going to be like, I didn't know. This is exactly the difficulty of the feedback.
And
I mean,
yet
this
I
is
noticed
exactly,
things. I did
yes, you
notice
noticed it,
things.
but you didn't notice this. And this is not good or bad. You didn't act on it. You still were giving explanation. No, you haven't made it clear. No, you still were giving
No, I
explanation.
only gave explanation when you asked
And
me the
now
question.
you are blocking what I'm telling you. And it's okay.
Yeah,
You
and
can do
it's okay. I have the same story about you, that you're broken in what you're telling me. You're being a broken record. And so then
okay.
I'm asking,
So we
you...
can stop this here. We can stop this here.
Thank you.
I don't need to tell you anything else. Yes,
I will try to answer Patricio's question. Why I did not receive Dorothea's request proposal? It was because I had resistance. I had fear because I scanned in Dorothea that she really does not know yet how to be on a team. That she really holds herself separate. So I had this resistance, and so
the question is, that way, did you tell her? Did you tell her this?
I did not yet.
Okay. So this is an example of how the opportunity to really build a team is really in these difficult moments. In this, you get that something is not working here with Dorothea, and you are not having this conversation.
Yeah, I was waiting. I had some fantasy about the bridge house of that I don't have to do the work of building a team by myself because other people are ready for it.
So yeah, that's a fantasy, definitely. Because if you see a job in a bridge house, if you see a job, that meaning you got this sense about Dorothea. Yes. You get that sense, and probably you are going to be the only one get it. Other people will get different things. You know, other people will get different information, a different angle. Now you got a sense of something was off here. You know, I don't know if she really is up to work in a team. I'm not sure. You know, her proposal is not clear to me. Now, the important thing here is what you did or what you can do with it. This is the important what you did and what you didn't do, because that is exactly what you didn't do. Then this part of the team, the opportunity to create a team, this doorway that was opening in your sensing, for you sensing that, you didn't open it. And this is exactly what I was saying at the beginning of this conversation, that these are the moments that create really the team. These are the moments when you have this dangerous conversation, when it gets confusing, when you go to a place where you are going to be really uncomfortable, when you have to call somebody, you know, to hold a space. You know, important conversations need always a space holder, whoever it is, you know, a third person. And important conversations, I almost say that any conversation is an important conversation, especially when it relates to a big project like the bridge house. So that deserves immediate action. When you don't take action, then the opportunity for enlightening or alivening this part of the territory of the bridge house gets lost.
There's a lot that's coming up for me now.
Yeah.
Having just been dropped into this new context with all of you, the context just being this call. And I'm getting a lot of clarity, quite a lot actually. So the first thing, I feel a little bit of fear about some of my project manager box that I bring with me. So I'm just trying to be aware of that. That aside, I see how I wait for things to happen in my own life, and I don't want to wait around for things to happen. I want to make things happen. And one thing that's really coming to me is like one of the things that I'd love to explore during this bridge house, because I feel a lot of fear that there's going to be like a lot of waiting and it's going to be chaotic and nothing's going to happen, is how can tourists be or like employing tourist technology as a tool for radical creation, not just responsibility, but to create, to like move something forward, to say, we have an idea, let's now create it. I have, for myself or my 3 seller, the whole team, how can tourist technology be a tool for radical creation? Just to move, to say, I want to make this thing happen and go make it happen. Yeah, and there's also questions coming up for me about this was coming up earlier, like when Patricia was saying, you know, when someone joins and they want to have clarity, like they know, like that, I hate to this very capitalistic word, so I'm not going to say that word, I need a different word. How can I invite someone with clarity to join the bridge house? And I want to know what's going on there, like what's happening there. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about doing, because Dawe, I also heard you say that you don't want it to be so much about doing, or you said something along these lines a while ago. And at the same time, I want to know, like, how is this transformation going to happen? And that was one of my questions about going to Inlakesh, like what happens when people are just like living around together, like what is happening there? And they employed a lot of things that they did on a weekly basis, like practices and sharing circles and things, and had clarity about when it's important for everyone to come together, or like knots and convergences for tourist technology and study groups and EHPs, and like really having, I feel fear, the project manager part is this fear about employing too much structure on something. And at the same time, I'm aware of like the practice and having clarity of like, what are the practices that make this space what it is? What am I showing up to do here, instead of just being together in possibility management or radical response? I don't know what that means really.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
What
Do
I
you have
heard was how you're asking, how will we create this transformation? Is that right?
How will we practice it? What are the practices that we will employ? And it's not so much about doing, just what are we practicing there? And saying radical responsibility is vague.
Yeah. What I've realized is a lot of how this bridge house is moving for me is through projects, is being committed to projects. And so for me, I'm committed to building ties to the local community. So not just that it's a next culture community, but that we really have an open door. And so it's my transformation will come through the steps required to do that. And other transformation will come from our relating. So Meredith had this great idea come up after our last call. She was talking with Devin. Do you want to share it?
Yeah, I do. We were talking about, and this is something that one of my projects that I want to hold space for, is we were talking about being on a team and how do we create a space where people can mess up. And my background is an elementary school teacher. I won't go too far back, but I was like connecting these pieces of like, okay, well, I know how to create a space where kids can fail. What does this look like where we're creating a team where we can fail and we celebrate it? And so I was like, okay, what's this energetic tool that we can create? I'm like, okay, well, there's a voice blaster. Like, what kind of tool can we create that's celebrating people failing? And so we can be making these really dangerous offers to do things. And like, this is also like something, my edge is like, I want to be stepping in more. And so it's like, I can't remember what we're brainstorming, things like a glitter bomb or something like this. That's like a celebration of these failures, to create this space. And so something I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to create a space where we can be making these risky, just failing a lot. And another thing that I'm going to be, one of my projects is building a greenhouse, a geodesic dome. And it's like this really tangible thing, but the process, and honestly, like my fear of failing and everyone being like, oh, well, you said you were going to do this thing. Like, is it happening? This is like one way that I'm putting like my stake in the ground to anchor this growth for myself. And I really, as you're speaking, I really resonate with, or what I'm hearing is like, okay, what can I expect here? And I have this tendency to, I'm like, oh, I'm like fantasizing about what our schedule is going to be like. What time are we going to wake up? Are we going to have meditation? Like, and that's not how it goes. Like, I want to be making these proposals with all of you. I can sit back and try to think through it and make this perfect bridge house. And there's no way I can be creating with my idea of what it's going to be that's better than what the team is offering. And so this process, that I'm like, of making proposals of what we want to happen, it's like, and hearing you saying like, this is what I want to be happening, is what I'm all about. Is like, how can I be in a space where I'm really making the proposals for what my transformation, my path of transformation, and trusting this team will find value in it, and the people who are on this path with me will join. And so I'm trying to release this structure a little bit.
Thank
And
you. I also, I need to go now. I'm 3 minutes over time, and I let them know that I would be 3 minutes late for my next call. And I want to stay and I have to go. And I really look forward to joining the next one. And I just want to thank you all for letting me be here with you. And I really am looking forward to the next gathering.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Jacqueline.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to add one thing to what Meredith just shared, which is that this project about failure came out of her space with Devin last week. That I think Devin was talking about. I don't know what you can say it better.
I'm not remembering the exact.
Okay. What I recall that Meredith told me was that
the space with Devin in this space,
in
or
this, yes, in last week's call, that Devin was saying something about, I don't know, his fear of failure. I don't know what it was. And then it was this somehow this desire in Meredith to be on Devin's team. And then so we were talking about this, and then there's this confetti blaster that we came up with instead of the voice blaster. But okay, you get a massive beep, you make a proposal that just doesn't land. And then okay, so what if in the bridge house we had a confetti blaster for this kind of moment? And that's where I see the transformation coming from, is from our relationship to each other. That it's not just from my brain. I think, okay, this is a great project, but this is something that serves our community.
I just want to check one thing. This call is 1 hour or is more than 1 hour?
1.5.
1.5. Okay. I just want to say about this that even a bridge house or any kind of team, there is the relationship between the members of the team, but also there is a relationship to outside, and every member of the team has its own ecosystem of relationships and connections and things that they bring into the bridge house that even though they are not physically present, is part of the bridge house. So when you say like I want to do this project, or I want people in the bridge house to do proposals to people in the bridge house, to me there is also a dimension of people outside, that are part in a way of the bridge house, or it's important that they are part. It's like the breathe in and out of the team in the bridge house. Including somebody like me that acts as a mentor or for the bridge house that probably will not be there, or I might spend time there, however it works. But that it creates a sustainable relationship with the outside also.
I want to share where I'm at.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In regards to being there in September. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. It's a story. First, I decided my next step was a bridge house. And I heard about this bridge house. And I thought, perfect. Then I heard it was in the United States. And I felt a lot of fear that I shared with you. And then you gave me possibilities and I explored that. And then I was feeling a yes, and life kept happening. And I started feeling that I want to be in a bridge house because I spend a lot of time in the computer since I am in the PM game world. And I don't want to spend so much time in the computer. I value presential spaces. And I sense that what I want is a moving bridge house. I want to create a moving bridge house that travels because I want to move. And right now, I don't know if, yes, okay. Then another layer came that I felt fear that I have a tendency of wanting to know what I will do because that feels safe. So if I know I will be there in September, my child feels safe because I know. And I don't want to decide feeling this like needing to be safe. I don't want to decide like that. And then I explored that, and yes, I came to the what I want is to create a moving bridge house, and I don't know if I am ready for that. I don't know if my next step is to be on a bridge house that does not move, because maybe that is easier. Like that is, I have to. It requires less matrix for me. Or if my next step is to jump into the unknown and start creating a moving bridge house. So that is where I'm at.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Nicole, it seems like you had something.
Yeah, I'm trying to get what it is. What is the difference between, this question comes up, what is the difference between a bridge house that doesn't move and a bridge house that does move, but not, it's something else. It's like, what's the difference between being part of a team in a bridge house that moves and being part of a team in a bridge house that doesn't move? And that, I don't think that's actually it either. It's something like, I'm living in the story that wherever I go becomes a bridge house because I'm holding a context of radical responsibility while I'm there. And it's not about, do the people who live here agree with me that it is a bridge house? It's not so much something that is subject to the choices other people make. Because they can always ask me to leave. If they've invited me, I'm here, they can ask me to leave before I've already said, this is when I'll leave. Does it work for you for me to stay between these two times? And while I'm there, it's a bridge house because I'm committed to cultivating the context of radical responsibility inside my bubble. And then the consequences ripple out from there. And I fail often and gladly because that's how I learn. And so I don't know if that is a question. Maybe it's the question is how can you be the seed of a bridge house by cultivating your context, the context in your bubble of radical responsibility, so that it doesn't matter if you're ready or not, or if it's moving or not, or if you even have a team physically with you or not. Because even when I'm on the bus is a little bit of a bridge house, and how that goes will be different everywhere every time. But it's like something like there's something. Yeah, that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Nicole. It landed, and the question came up from me: if what serves me in September, that when I say that I have the fear, I don't know, because it's not September. And the question came up, will it serve me in September to not move or to move? Like, will the stability of not moving is what is on my team or not? And I don't know. That is what I'm with. And I want to check with myself.
Yeah, so you will not know until September.
Or
I
until
don't know.
you know.
I don't know if earlier. Yes.
For me, it's the same with a yes as for a no in the future, and that's what changing your mind is for. And my invitation to you would be to maybe do the experiment of saying, I'm committed to being there for 3 months starting September 15th, and maybe you change your mind about that. But until then, to find out how it goes, to just make a commitment, and then find out. I mean, this is a possibility I have.
Yeah, thank you. I discovered that I have the story that when I make a commitment, then I cannot change my mind.
That's some standard human intelligence thought where it's going on there.
Yeah.
I had a fear come up, Maria, which is we're on this team. We're on this team in these calls. And
Sorry.
yeah, and my fear is just that this well, I'll wait until December to know, or wait until September to know. It is a huge buffer for being able to be on a team with other people.
Will you say it's a huge buffer with another words, please?
Yeah, it's a huge fog for being on a team, because you create the energetics of of, well, I'll be there, but maybe not. I'm here on these calls, collaborating, creating with you, but maybe not.
How do you feel about it?
I did not hear you then.
How do you feel about it? About what I'm creating by doing that?
I feel fear.
Because
Yeah, my fears just that it's a way for you to protect yourself from the from a liquid state of being on a team.
you're afraid that I'm protecting myself from the liquid team of being on a team, from the liquid state, that I'm protecting myself from the liquid state of being on a team.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your fear. I might. I'm afraid I don't know what it is to be on a team. Or I have the, when you say be on a team, I don't know what that is. And I'm confused now, so I don't know what liquid state you're talking about. And I hear you. I hear your fear.
The liquid state I'm talking about is to really be reachable, and is to really make yourself available energetically, emotionally, intellectually, and physically.
Okay. I am still with that I'm afraid of committing because I'm afraid of not being able to say no afterwards.
So here you have an experiment to do. You could use this space to commit, and then, I mean, see if you can change your mind, or if you want to change your mind, and you try to commit for no reason, and then you really leave the commitment for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. See, if you never do this experiment, then you will never know if it's your box just telling you to go somewhere else, just because it's uncomfortable for your box, or to keep moving from one place to another, not because it's your being that needs that, but it's because your box is uncomfortable, and you will not know until you really try to experiment with committing and see what happens.
Yes. Thank you. I noticed now I have the fear that I have the story that if I commit, I am not allowed to explore other possibilities.
So
and I think that's also
so check that story, commit, and then see if that story is true, and and do whatever EHP is, and see what happens during 2 weeks that you commit. You know, if commitment becomes a prison, then there is another EHP for you.
Yes, thank you. I will do the experiment.
Fantastic. So will you commit to be in the Bridge House in September?
Everyone is kind of blocked. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Now we can.
Yes, I commit to being in the Bridge House in upstate New York from mid-September to mid-December, physically, emotionally, energetically, mentally, and archetypally.
Yay.
Thank you.
That's great. And keep us posted. This is really what makes the Bridge House. I mean, the Bridge House is already happening. So tell us what happens to you. You know, how, you know, what stories come, what fears come with the commitment, and share it with us in the chat.
Yes, I want
Yeah.
to know that too.
Because this experiment, I mean,
Thank you for.
Yeah. This experiment that you are doing is relevant to everybody in the Bridge House. To a certain extent, everybody is dealing with this issue of committing and how you commit, and how do you know if it's your box committing or your being committing, and where do you get the point of reference?
Thank you.
Yes,
I
you.
had the intuition that it was relevant for me to be in this call, and I'm glad that I followed it and that I discovered this and that I committed.
I'm glad also.
How does it feel right now to have spoken your commitment?
I feel joy. I feel joy because I'm doing something that is I'm stepping before knowing where I will step. Like I am it's not the path that I always do. It is not unpredictable. Yes, unpredictable. I am doing something that I am exploring and is new, and I feel joy about that. And I feel the fears that I shared before. And I feel anger because I committed.
Yeah.
And I feel sad because that you're glad.
Great. And
Just
for you to know, I mean, it's about changing your relationship to commitment, and so you are able to create your life. You know, so this experiment is about changing your relationship to the old stories about commitment and about responsibility. So this is an important experiment for you.
Yes.
I feel joy. I'm seeing how the old map of responsibility and the map of radical responsibility are very similar to the old map of commitment, and this like new way of relating to commitment as a choice and as an experiment, as everything is an experiment. But to make a conscious experiment of choosing commitment, it's like I'm lit up by the possibilities that I sense that opens me to. So thank you. And I feel joy because I have more clarity. I had this question about how being on a team in the past, my fears about being on a team all come from this my emotional body's full of the fear of my teammates telling me what I was, what I am, and my being saying, no, that's not accurate. And to be in a space where the purpose of my teammates giving me feedback is so that I can see myself from the outside, which is the one side I cannot see myself from. And so I can't see what I'm missing because I'm missing it. And this call with you, Patricio, and with watching things emerge really somehow built my matrix just a little bit about what it is about being on a team that for me is so terrifying and so much what I want.
So for you, Nicole, what experiment would you do around commitment? What is your experiment around commitment? What can you commit, like at the same level of Maria's commitment? You know, that is as scary and as dangerous and as potentially transformative for you.
When you ask me that, I start to feel sadness. And I feel sad because the feedback I've been getting and what I've been discovering from inside of myself too is that one of the things that I wait for other people to let me know, you can tell me anything. If it matters to you to say it, you can say it. And in the meantime, I censor myself from saying what I want to say out of fear that I'll be told, we don't want to hear that from you. You don't get to say that here. You're wrong to say that. You're bad to say that. And so my commitment is it's to risk, and this is where the failing confetti thing also kind of creates space for me here, is to reveal what's actually going on with me to my team.
So my proposal to you is that there is a second part to that commitment, to really reveal it and stay for the response.
Yeah.
And to not track 1 millimeter from the response, whatever it is. And to find out how all your techniques of backtracking, when you get bigger, when you say what you need to say, when you really reveal yourself, you know, the important thing about the experiment is then how do you backtrack? How you convince yourself that it was not worth it doing it?
Yeah.
How you convince yourself that you see it's impossible. I will not be able to say it because it's not going to be received.
Yeah. Thank you. That is gold. This is so it.
And this is so important for being really a team, a member of the team in the team of the Bridge House, because otherwise it will be war.
Yeah, learning how to stay without going into war, and learning how to go away without going into war.
Yeah. And before you learn, you find out. I mean, what I'm proposing to you is that you find out all the techniques you use to backtrack. You know, you say it, and then all the techniques, you know, in a way, this is gremlin transformation.
Yeah.
You know, what your gremlin convinces you to do, or it does by itself, you know, so you can demonstrate that it was not worth it, you know, become bigger
to use that as evidence.
Yes.
Thank you. We're at the bottom of the hour. Is there anything before we say goodbye?
I have two things. The versus Maria, will you send me a photo and a 1 or 2 sentence purpose for joining the Bridge House that I can include on our website?
Yes, I will. Thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you. And Patricio, it has been invaluable having you on this call. Will
Yes.
you join our call next week, and will you be the space holder?
So next week is also Friday.
We've been sort of just finding a time in Telegram.
Finding a time. Yes, I will do. It's a kind of a busy week, but let's find the time in the group and yes.
Okay. Thank you, Patricio.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. So I also, I mean, I was going to talk to you after, but I didn't realize that it was 1 hour and a half. So I have another call now. But we can be in touch and talk during the week or when we all get together.
Okay.
Thank you, Patricio.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Everyone.
Yes.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Zoe and Meredith.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Maria.
Maria.
Thank you, Nicole.